The anime campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill follows the story of Tsuyoshi Mukohda, a man who is summoned to an alternate world along with 3 other people to become heroes of the Reijseger Kingdom. While his companions possess strong combat and magic skills, Mukohda has only one unique skill called the online grocery skill, which allows him to spend money to buy food and other products online from Japan. Mukohda convinces the royals that his skill is useless and would want to live a simple life and accepts money to quietly disappear. As Mukohda leaves the kingdom, he finds out from a merchant that the Reijseger Kingdom is about to be destroyed and rumors about the border to a neighboring kingdom will close soon. Mukohda is glad that he's leaving but is scared about the monsters, so he hires Werner and his party called the Iron Will to escort him to the Venan Kingdom. During the escort, Mukohda provides them with food by using his skill but discovers later that Japanese ingredients can boost the status of the person's health and magic. So, Mukohda decides to keep it a secret, knowing that someone might discover his skill and try to take advantage of it. One night, while cooking a meal, a legendary monster called Fenrir appears and demands to taste Mukohda's food. The Fenrir is impressed with Mukohda's cooking that he insists on becoming his familiar in exchange for 3 meals a day. After calculating how much money Mukohda has left, he realizes that he will need more money to feed the Fenrir and needs employment immediately. Mukohda names the Fenrir Fel. Werner warns Mukohda that entering Venan will be difficult due to the legendary status of a Fenrir and the attention it could attract. However, Fel agrees to hunt for their meat in exchange for Mukohda's cooking, which saves them money. Upon arriving at the Venan border, Fel does draw attention, but they are allowed to enter due to his familiar contract with Mukohda. Mukohda decides that he wants to travel the world, so he registers at the Merchants Guild. Shortly after registering, Mukohda receives an invitation to meet Margrave Lindell, a high-ranking noble, but he refuses. He eventually registered as an iron rank merchant, and he will be able to run mobile trading stalls between cities. He discovers that items like salt and pepper, purchased from online grocery for 10 copper coins, are rare commodities in this world and can be sold for a high price. He sells a bag of each to the guildmaster himself for 17 gold. Mukohda also joins the Adventurers Guild in order to sell monster parts, but he learns that he needs to do a quest per month in order to continue his membership. He accepts a quest to gather medicinal plants, which he believes will be a simple task. Werner and his friends express their hope of seeing Mukohda again and already miss his presence and exceptional cooking skills. Mukohda completes his quest and uses the discounted ingredients he found to make spaghetti. While Fel goes out hunting for more monster meat, Mukohda is disturbed to learn that even humans eat orcs, which possess a more humanoid appearance. Fel agrees to let Mukohda ride on his back to make traveling faster, drawing even more attention to himself. Despite her abrasive personality, the Adventurer Guild secretary, Bianca, develops a soft spot for Fel. Mukohda has the monsters butchered and keeps the meat for himself, while he sells the rest of the body parts for 200 gold. He discovers that monster parts are often underestimated by amateurs, and orc meat is even tastier than pork. Fel draws too much attention because of his status as the legendary monster, so Mukohda decides that it is safer to claim that Fel is a great wolf, not a Fenrir. After acquiring a hefty amount of gold, Mukohda introduces Fel to Japanese Wagyu beef. Unfortunately, the high-quality Japanese meat boosts Fel's stats so high that he hunts even stronger monsters all night, including a rare orc general, and a rank ogre, and even a legendary chimera. Seeing how many monsters Mukohda needs to butcher, he decides to never feed Wagyu to Fel again. The next day, Mukohda and Fel continue their journey, and Mukohda discovers he has a weak form of magic. Fel tells him that combat is the best way to improve his magic skills, so he forces Mukohda to fight a goblin village. Mukohda is reluctant but manages to level up his fire magic. However, he faints from the strain, and Fel has to save him. After defeating the goblins, Fel wants to reward his efforts, so he hunts down the Goblin King. While it's inedible, it contains a valuable magic stone. After the battle, Mukohda feeds Fel pastries for dessert, but he is jealous of Fel's wind magic, which is his strongest element. Mukohda calls out for any goddess to give him a blessing. Surprisingly, a goddess actually hears his request. They enter a town to buy a map, but learn that accurate maps of the world are national secrets due to the ongoing wars. Mukohda ends up buying a map showing the general location of the kingdoms and their dungeons for 1 gold, only to learn from some adventurers that he was swindled. Maps are available at all guilds for 1 silver. After acquiring the map, Mukohda decides to travel east to a kingdom by the ocean. Mukohda and Fel take a break by a lake where Mukohda cooks fish. They encounter a slime monster which is known to eat anything, including the packaging of Mukohda's online orders. Fel reveals that the slime likes Mukohda, which leads to a contract between Mukohda and slime, whom he names Sui. Sui quickly levels up after Mukohda feeds him actual food, and once Mukohda trains him not to eat utensils, he's able to do the washing up. Fenrir takes an interest in Mukohda and sends Fel a revelation that she will grant Mukohda her blessing to increase his magic and resistance to injury, in exchange for an offering of sweets once a week. Mukohda starts making an offering of sweet buns and now has the blessing. Fenrir tries the sweet buns and wants more, and starts sending Mukohda revelations every few days that are little more than lists of sweets she wants. Even if Mukohda has the wind blessing, Fel is disappointed by his progress with combat magic and decides to take him to a special area where he can further improve his abilities. Fel takes Mukohda to a dungeon and forces him to enter to fight monsters and rapidly improve his stone bullet magic. Mukohda eats Japanese ingredients for temporary status boosts to prepare for the fight, but is forced to fight them without Fel's assistance. Mukohda becomes better at using the stone bullet magic and can now fire 3 at once. Later in the fight, he discovers Sui is useful in combat with strong acid bullets. After defeating an army of kobolds, Mukohda is confronted by the dungeon boss, the Kobold King, who is enraged by the death of his army. Mukohda desperately upgrades Stone Bullet and was able to injure the king but runs out of magic. Fortunately, Sui manages to kill the king instead and levels up while Mukohda passes out. Mukohda wakes up a little while after and discovers that Sui can now speak and refers to Fel as Uncle Fel. While they have both leveled up, Mukohda is disappointed to find out that Sui is stronger than him. However, he still treats everyone with huge helpings of oyakodon made with stat-boosting Japanese ingredients. Fel takes Mukohda through Griffin territories, which terrifies Mukohda. Along the way, Mukohda discovers rare healing mushrooms that can heal stab wounds and broken bones. Sui eats one and eventually gains the skill to produce multiple types of healing potions, including a powerful potion that can save people from death. Later on, a griffin challenges Fel to a duel to prove himself as the strongest griffin. Fel wins the duel and Mukohda uses Sui's new potions to save the griffin. After the duel, Mukohda notices that Fel was also injured in the duel, which is something that only a few have achieved against him, and as a result, the other griffins have agreed to have Griffin be the next leader. Griffin gives Mukohda a feather that guarantees him safe passage into Griffin's territory forever. Fel realizes that Mukohda has forgotten his offerings to Fenrir, and is very furious about it. After 6 weeks on the shortcut, they exit the Griffin territory and find a caravan under attack by bandits. Fel roars and scares the bandits, making them surrender. Lambert invites Mukohda and the others to accompany him to Kirlin, which is the city that Mukohda and the others are heading to. Mukohda and Fel travel with a caravan to Kirlin city. On the way, Mukohda realizes that rumors about Fel have spread throughout the kingdoms, making him worried that they have drawn too much attention. Upon arrival, Mukohda discovers that his adventurer's membership has been revoked because he has not completed any quests in over a month. After renewing his membership, he shows off the monsters Fel caught on their trip, which impresses Lambert's guards. Mukohda decides he needs a promotion to F-rank adventurer to make feeding Fel easier, and Fenrir demands more sweets in exchange for her blessings. Mukohda takes a quest to fight goblins to begin raising his rank. Sui hunts a minimum of 3 goblins for the contract but goes overboard and hunts a whole goblin village, causing Sui to evolve again and gain the ability to alter his size or split into 100 separate slimes. With enough goblins hunted for his promotion in less than a day, Mukohda worries they are drawing too much attention again. Fenrir enjoys her latest offering of egg pudding, but her joy attracts the attention of other goddesses, which worries Mukohda. Mukohda is given complete freedom within the royal family's kingdom borders as a reward for his successful completion of several troublesome monster-slaying quests. He is also promoted directly to C rank by the guild master, Willem, in exchange for giving some of Fel's monster-slaying quests to the guild quietly. Mukohda sells Fel's latest kills to the guild, earning 2,000 gold, the largest single payment in the guild's history. However, 2 of the monsters, a chimera and Orthrus, are so valuable that the guild can't afford to purchase them. Fel is then given the task of killing a mithril lizard and a herd of bloody horned bulls. Meanwhile, Mukohda visits Lambert's shop and buys a nicer bag for Sui, a knife belt, a wallet, and new boots. Lambert, who primarily deals in leather, asks Mukohda to sell him any high-quality monster skins he acquires in the future, especially from snake-type monsters. With an overabundance of meat, Mukohda cooks so much that even Fel can't eat it all. Fenrir gorges herself on the sweets that Mukohda sends her but resents Mukohda's warnings that too many sweets will make her fat. The other goddesses become intrigued by the otherworldly food that Mukohda sends Fenrir. Mukohda and Fel go on a quest to hunt a Mithril lizard in a herd of bloody horn bulls. Fel easily kills the Mithril lizard, and Mukohda collects valuable Mithril ore from its body. With Sui's help, Fel manages to hunt down the entire herd of bloody horn bulls. At the guild, Mukohda learns that the city lord will likely want the Mithril lizard as a gift for the king, along with the location of the undiscovered Mithril ore, in exchange for 5,000 gold. After a feast of bull meat, Mukohda prepares an offering for Fenrir, but he is interrupted by 3 other goddesses who offer their blessings for otherworld offerings. They reveal that Fenrir is a cheapskate and only gave Mukohda a minor wind blessing, despite his lack of affinity for wind magic. Mukohda receives blessings from Earth Goddess Kishal and Fire Goddess Agni. As he has no affinity for water, the Water Goddess Rusalka blesses Sui instead. Mukohda offers a large box of sweets for the goddesses to share. Fel is impressed with Mukohda and Sui's new powers and decides to hunt the snake monster that Lambert had requested. The next day, Mukohda sells the black snake's skin to Lambert and introduces him to modern soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Lambert is impressed and agrees to sell the shampoo to Mukohda, who doesn't have a shop of his own. Meanwhile, the city lord pays Mukohda 58 gold for the Mithril lizard and the mine location. However, a swarm of feral wyverns attack, injuring and poisoning many adventurers. Willem issues an emergency quest to slay the wyverns, but many adventurers aren't strong enough to handle them. Fel and Sui volunteer to kill all the wyverns while Mukohda turns the remaining hamburgers into cutlets. In another part of the world, 3 Japanese teenagers summoned as heroes, Kaido, Kanon, and Ryo, wonder what happened to Mukohda with his seemingly useless online grocery skill. They also hope to meet the legendary adventurer who tamed a Fenrir someday. Mukohda and his companions find themselves facing new challenges and adventures. They start by learning that Willem cannot afford to buy the wyverns, which is a setback for them. At the next offering to the goddesses, Fenrir wants sweets, Kishal wants shampoo, Agni wants alcohol, and Rusalka wants the same meals that Fel eats. Mukohda and Sui construct a bathhouse after purchasing a bathtub, and Mukohda finally takes his long-awaited bath. The group also enjoys judon and stew made from the wyvern meat that Mukohda has acquired. Fel returns, having hunted an earth dragon, but Mukohda scolds him for his reckless behavior. His item box is now full of monsters so valuable that no one can afford to buy them. Mukohda forces Fel to have a bath with a dog shampoo, which makes him feel disconcerted. Willem tells Mukohda to visit Dahlin City, where the guild master is a dragon expert, and also where he can finally visit the ocean. Mukohda and his companions depart for Dahlin City, saying their farewells to their friends.